Imagine a world where the glaciers never retreated, where mammoths still roam vast tundras and modern cities never rose. In this version of Earth, the warmth never returned, and humanity, it remained trapped in the cold grip of survival. Every mountain is cloaked in ice, forests never spread, deserts never formed. The world is frozen in time, and we were forced to adapt or die. This is not a place of comfort. It's a planet that never thawed, a planet where history, as we know it, never happened. In this frozen Earth, we never built pyramids or painted cathedrals. Our ancestors never became farmers. Fire, fur, and instinct were all we had. We were nomads in endless winter. Without fertile land, we never settled. Without seasons, we never planted. And without the sun, our hopes never rose beyond survival. Yet somehow we endured. We followed herds, carved bone tools, and passed stories through firelight and frozen breath. We became not farmers, but survivors. The Ice Age didn't just freeze the Earth. It froze the timeline of human history itself. We often think of evolution as a straight path, from ape to man, cave to city. But in a frozen world, the path forks. Our bodies change. We grow shorter, thicker, more insulated, skin pale from a sunless sky, eyes wide to catch twilight. In the absence of cities, language remains oral, rich in myth but lost to time. Tools become simpler, survival more sacred. We live not in competition, but in tight-knit clans. Memory becomes history passed not on paper, but from fire to fire. In this Ice Age world, humans adapt, but never conquer. There are no books here, no stone tablets, no written names. But around the fire, stories live. One voice becomes many. The old speak of spirits in the mountains, of the time the sky cracked and the wolves came, of fire stolen from the gods, buried in the ice. Myths are not entertainment. They are history, warnings, medicine. Each word matters. Each tale, passed from lip to ear, is all that stands between survival and forgetting. When memory freezes, so does humanity. We imagine our ancestors as fearless, but their greatest fear wasn't just death. It was being alone when it came. A snowstorm could smother a child in seconds. A snapped bone could exile a man forever. The silence in the trees sometimes meant a predator. Sometimes it meant nothing at all. Night brought no mercy, no light, only breathless cold. But their deepest fear? Being forgotten. If no one remembered your name, if no one sang your story, you were never truly born. And in a frozen world, that was a second death. Imagine you took them home, not to your cave, to your apartment. You offer them food wrapped in plastic, a glowing rectangle that talks. But they're not impressed by skyscrapers or Wi-Fi. What stuns them is how we walk past each other without speaking, how we ignore the elderly. They watch a homeless man on the corner and, why don't they bring him into the tribe? They hear children scream over video games and look confused. You show them the stars on your phone. They raise their hand and point up. Thoughtful. The stars are still there. Why don't you look anymore? And for the first time, you feel cold, not from the weather, but from the distance we've built around ourselves. You wanted to meet the first human, but now they're staring back at you like a mirror. No words, just questions in their eyes. Why do we live behind screens instead of beside one another? Why are we surrounded by information but feel more lost than ever? Their world had danger, predators, hunger, cold. Ours has comfort, and yet we struggle with anxiety, loneliness, depression. They hunted to feed their tribe. We scroll endlessly, trying to feed something else. They had less, but maybe they were more. So who's the real primitive here? You reached across time to meet your ancestor. But what you really found was a reflection of everything we've forgotten. Walked through time, faced your ancestors, looked into the eyes of the first human, and saw something unsettling. You expected distance. Instead, you found a connection. In their stare, a question. In their silence, a challenge. They lived with less, yet held more. More presence, more instinct, more meaning in every breath. And you returned to your world, faster, smarter, louder, but not always wiser. So are we still the same, or did we evolve into something else? Maybe we didn't leave them behind. Maybe they're still here, inside us. The fear, the wonder, the hunger for stories. We still seek fire. We still seek meaning. And in that, we are not so different at all.